September 17th, 1984.
The bike was lying there in the middle of the road.
She asked me for a quarter to buy a stamp.
Vicki, just the FBI. You live with it every day.
Panic spreads through the city of Tucson.
We're waiting for you, babe. We all love you very much, and we miss you.
A little girl, 8-year-old Vicki Lynn Hoskinson, had jumped on her pink bicycle to drop a birthday card in the mail for her aunt. She never made it home. It was the first time Vicki had been allowed to go anywhere without the buddy system. The first time, her last.
Initially, we thought, well, maybe, she was at someone's house, she'd come.
But then Vicki's older sister, Stephanie, found the bike.
First of all, Vicki prided that bike. That was her pride and joy, and she would not have left that bike in the middle of the street. It just would not have happened.
This would turn out to be a case filled with gut feelings and surreal moments. Just minutes before Vicki disappeared, her PE coach saw a man outside Homer Davis Elementary School in the Flowing Wells area, mere blocks from where Vicki was riding her bike. Sam Hall says the encounter sent shivers down his spine.
And he was struggling with this stick shift, and I went, something's not right here. And that's when the Lord revealed to me what this man was about. And as I memorized his license plate, I got in my car and I was looking for something to write with, and there was a bank deposit slip in my glove box, and I wrote down 1KEZ 608, never forget it, gold on blue, black 260Z.
I think we got James going down to the park.
There were extensive searches by air and ground. Some were even on horseback. But it was Sam Hall's information that would be the break investigators needed. Days after Vicki Lynn's disappearance, in Texas, convicted child molester 28-year-old Frank Jarvis Atwood was picked up by authorities. His car, matching Hall's description, was in the shop, and prosecutors say a sliver of pink paint was on his front bumper. Vicki Lynn was nowhere to be found.
I guess at first I just expected her to walk through the door. You have to understand, of all of our children, Vicki's nickname was Dennis. Dennis the Menace.
Perhaps that's why the case affected so many people, prompting intense news coverage, hand-drawn pictures and letters from children all over the city and country. There were even mailings from overseas. Vicki Lynn had that special something, deep blue eyes you could almost swim into, and a spunk that delighted and challenged those around her. She wasn't just any girl.
She could give you a smile that would just melt your heart, and yet if she was in a game, dodgeball, kickball, any game we're playing in PE, if there was a guy, a girl, or the junkyard dog out there, she was going to scrap.
If you had someplace special to go, you didn't get her dressed till right before you're going to leave, because you'd have 2 or 3 wardrobe changes before, because she was just, if there was a puddle, she'd be in it.
It was as if everyone's daughter was Vicki Lynn, targeted and taken. The pink bicycle she got Christmas morning, all that remained. To this day, there are boxes and boxes of evidence locked up in downtown Tucson, evidence that decades ago proved a case against Frank Atwood.
I'm telling you from my heart, I'm innocent of this crime.
Atwood says he didn't do it, that he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. But in jail years ago, another inmate claimed Atwood confessed to him raw details of the killing, of sexually assaulting and stabbing 8-year-old Vicki Lynn to death.
Before she went down, she looked up at him and said, "I knew it." Those were the last words that she ever said.
Months after Vicki disappeared, after Atwood's arrest, Debbie Carlson, for reasons she'll never know, felt drawn to drive Ina Road one night. It was after work, a life-changing trip.
The further I got down here on Ina Road, the emotions were stronger and stronger, and then I started hearing this voice, "Mommy, I'm here. Mommy, I'm here."
Debbie just knew she was there and that Vicki's voice had guided her, but a search revealed nothing. It would turn out months later, Debbie was right. She was there.
Almost 7 months after Vicki disappeared, her remains were found here on the far west end of Ina, scattered on both sides of the road. Investigators were only able to find 1/3 of her bones, enough to fill a small box, which means much of her is still out here.
Vicki's skull was found in the desert south of Ina, April 12, 1985. Other bones, including her lower jaw, were north of the road under some brush. 22 years after Vicki's death, with the original detective by her side, Debbie Carlson finally walked to that exact spot where her little girl drew that last breath.
A little overwhelming.
It's okay. I've done really well.
We love you.
I know. I'm a real strong person, and it's just, this is the first time.
There is closure in the sense that Vicki's remains were found, the suspected killer was convicted, but this case still has wide open wounds. Frank Atwood is still alive, and longtime members of the community still feel vulnerable.
It has to make us aware that this stuff is going on, to be alert, to try to teach our children what to look for.
For years, Vicki's mom blamed herself for letting the child go off on her own that September day. There was a time Debbie Carlson didn't want to live, until one night, she says, Vicki came to her.
Oh, I want to say it was probably a couple years afterwards that I heard the pitter-patter of her feet, and I woke up and I looked, and she was standing at the foot of our bed. And there was this big white light around her, and she, and she was, Mama, I'm okay. That was turning point for me.